Make sure to
7:30
come on a
on the
little
7th.
early.
7:30 on the 7th, Qadsiya Stadium.
Okay.
Dr. Mahmoud just said what the name of that particular section is. I'm not sure, but it's within the same complex.
Okay.
And I want to see every seat taken, and I want to see people coming to have fun.
And we're taking a look at some of the shots of the
Yeah.
squash tournament from 2 years ago. I mean, this is, you know, the players are really intense, you know, when they're playing.
It
You
is.
can just see them that they're going at it real hard, especially when it gets towards the end. You can see that the sweat is building, and it's really quite intense.
You know, I've seen some amazing matches in my life, incredible matches. And when you see two guys beat each other almost to death for 2 hours sometimes, and at the end of it, they're hanging, they look into their eyes, they look haunted, and yet there's a decency and honesty that exists between them. They want nothing, they take nothing, but they fight till they drop. And I think that's what makes this so spectacular. And when people experience it for the first time, first of all, it's a shock, and then they get sucked in, because it is beautiful to watch. And at the end of it, always the handshake. And you know, 24 hours later, these guys are friends.
They're
again.
mates again.
It has to be.
That's great.
It has to be.
They keep it in the court, and it's a beautiful squash court. I'm sure the things will be as beautiful in Qadsiya Sports Club. Is admission going to be free of charge for the public?
It is a free of charge, and there are many gifts will be also, and there will be another surprise. I'm not going to announce it now, but it will be on daily basis in Qadsiya Club. I'm just asking the crowd to come over, and they will come. They are mostly will come, and if they need anything, they know the Qadsiya. Looking forward that to be successful.
And where at in Qadsiya? Which hall will it be?
Will be in Thursday. It will be the 5th in Yusuf Al-Mishari squash court. Saturday, the 7th, will be Tajhan Hilal Mteri court. It is the best court in
Kuwait.
It is the best
and
court.
the opening ceremony will be on Saturday or Thursday?
Saturday.
Saturday is going to be with the
7:30,
extravagant opening ceremony.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
And a lot of surprises.
Okay.
A lot of surprises.
We look forward to that coming up. So when will the matches then start? We've talked about the opening ceremony. When will matches usually take off
First
every
ball
day?
hitting angle will start at 12 noon on the 5th.
Okay.
At quarter to 11 on the 5th, I do the draw for the qualification.
Okay.
And you have 32 players, 8 of which are Q80s. They're going to fight for 8 spots to get into the men's draw. And don't forget, we've only talked about the men. You also have a gold standard women's event, bringing the top 16 women here to Q8.
And tell us about some of those names, please, Robert, if you could.
I think probably every so often you get sports that are dominated by great players. We talked to Jahangir and with it. In the world of the ladies' game, there's Heather Mackay, Michelle Martin, Sue Devoy, all of these great names, Sarah Fitzgerald. And there's another name that's come out, and she's a charming young girl from Malaysia, and that's Nicole David. She's now gone to world #1.
Okay.
She looks like a little princess, but she's a fighting tiger. Take my word for it.
Okay. So we'll be looking forward to that. All the best squash players in the world are going to be right here in the state of Kuwait. Coming now towards the end of our interview, before we go, there's going to be some a new referee kind of system. Tell us about that, Robert.
Yes, what's happened is squash is so fierce. You mentioned it, Tarek, that the players were damaging their bodies. They were hurting themselves with the amounts of the rallies and God knows what. So we're having to change some of the things. For example, in the men's game, we dropped the tin down by 2 inches because otherwise the rallies will never end. They're that good. You can't kill the ball.
Okay.
So what we've now come up with, and it'll be the first tournament where it's played right the way through for PSA at this level, is a 3-man referee system.
Okay.
So instead of your traditional 2-man, a marker and a referee, there'll be a central referee, 2 side referees, and when a decision is made, it'll be done by hand signal. And that's going to be interesting, and I won't say about it now because it's a bit complicated, but when we're there, I'll be explaining it to the audience, and it brings a bit of fun in for the audience. But for the players, it takes bickering and argument out of it. They ask yes, no, let, or whatever the decision is, and it ends there.
But we like to see a little bickering, a little
you'll still
argument.
get that.
Make things,
I can
even
never
more
see them being
exciting.
angels. They're never going to be angels.
Okay. Doctor, coming towards the end of our interview this evening, anything else that you'd like to remind us about this big squash tournament coming up right here in the state of Kuwait?
Definitely. I'm glad to be here first. Second, I'm glad to work with Robert. And I'm glad to be member of the committee who's handling the squash